Check this out.
Our top rangatahi
Wow.
go head to head.
What a that flick pass.
Watch every player,
What a try.
every game, live on Māori Active. Winter Tournament 2024 ki Māori Active.
Kei ngā mātā waka. Kei ngā hauewha. Kei ngā whatukura, kei ngā mareikura. Nau mai hoki mai ki tēnei o ngā pāpāhotanga. Te kēmu whakamutunga i tēnei whakataitau o te motu. I whakaata Māori, anei ahau, Wirimu Patrick, e koro atu ki a koutou i tēnei rā. Nau mai, hoki mai ki whakaata Māori, ki tēnei kēmu. Welcome back everybody. We've had an action-packed morning this morning. This is our third game we've seen live here on Whakaata Māori. The penultimate game for this year's National Secondary Schools competition. Two teams who we were fortunate enough to watch yesterday from Tāmaki Makaurau, Baradene College against Mount Albert Grammar. It's been a full-on morning so far this morning. We've seen some great football and no doubt this game will be the same. Our referees today in the middle here, the head referee Bridget Baker, as we can see the players going through the coin toss, assisted by Olivia Marlowe and Anna Harris. Me mihi ka tika ki a koutou ngā kaiwa wao o tēnei o ngā kēmu. Thank you to our referees and umpires for supporting and being part of this special occasion as we see both our captains there returning to their teams for some last minute words of encouragement. Both these teams yesterday came through to the final and they had a close 1-0 victory. So today we will see what unfolds. These two teams have already played in the final of the Auckland competition earlier this season, only 3 weeks ago. Who will come out trumps? On that day, it was Mount Albert. Last year, Baradene won the national tournament. Nō reira, e te whānau, mau tonu mai. Kare e kore, he kēmu pairawa atu kei te haere I nainu. As we have Baradene in their traditional black kākuhu, their black uniforms, and Mount Albert Grammar in their contrasting whites. Working through the lineups today, we'll start with Baradene. As they are the defending champions, we'll give them the honour of being the first team announced today. In goal, Isabel O'Connell. Number 2, Amelia Hitchcock. 3, Chloe Chua. Number 5, Katie Burr. Number 6, Penny Brill. 7, Charlotte O'Neill. Number 9, Poppy O'Brien. 10, we have Manuela Hoare Delgado. 11, Talia Cooper. Number 12, Liliana Cesaria, and 15 Tessa Sims. Our impact players today for Baradene, number 8 Bella Jarvi, 14 Emma White, 16 Madeline Dwyer, and 18 Misha Petherbridge, rounded out by number 19 Grace Hunt. Their head coach, Jackie Foote, is ably assisted by Ryan Schiffmar. Kia koutou, ngā tauira katoa o Baradene, ngā kaioko, ngā kaimātaki tēnā koutou. Mount Albert Grammar, the current champions of Auckland, will be looking to add to their trophy cabinet the National Secondary Schools trophy today, and their team, number 1, Anika Todd, number 2, Lizzie Reynolds, number 4, Roxy Person, 5, Holly Reynolds, 7, Peggy Taylor, 9, Emily Lyon, number 11, Rosie Robson, 12, Lexi Hedgington, 13, Tessa Fletcher, 14, Sophia DePledge, 17, Jessica Freeman. The impact players coming on today, when called upon, will be 20, Sophia Coles, number 6, Isla Robson, 16, Amelia DePledge, 10, Evie Fraser, and number 8, Nevaeh Rhodes. Awesome to see a couple of sets of sisters playing for this Mount Albert Grammar side today. Always a special time. They are coached by Jessica Wilson and Kate Inwood. Reira, kei a koutou katoa ngā kai mātaki, ngā kai tautoko o Mount Albert Grammar. Tēnā rā koutou. I tēnei wā, e teke ana me mihi ki ngā mana whenua o tēnei taki wā o whakatū te tauihu o te waka. Ko Ngāti Koata, Ngāti Tōrangatira, ko Ngāti Rārua, te Āti Awa, Ngāti Tamaki te Waipounamu, Ngāti Kuia, Ngāti Apa ki te Rātō, rangi tāne o Wairau. Reira, kia koutou katoa, ngā mihi mo ngā manaakitanga, ngā mihi mo te noho tahi i tēnei wiki. Me he kai tākoro, he kai tautoko, he matua, he tatao, he kiuripea, e aua, engari, tino mihi kia koutou katoa, e tino rau e tēnei wiki, te noho tahi ki whakatū. Reira, kia koutou katoa, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou. As we see a nice chance there, just a really quick, elusive break from Baradene. As we see on the replay here, Poppy O'Brien able to slice through the Mount Albert defence, and when she went for her strike on goal, just a little bit high, but some very promising signs from Baradene. E tani tonu ana te nākau i te wehenga o tō tātou kiingi tū heitea pō tatau te whero te tua whitu. Ina nahi rā i tū te rā nehu. A tāhua katoa. Ngā mahi. Ina nahi. Noroto i tūranga waiwai. Ngā rua wāhia. Waikato tainui. I tangi te motu katoa, kei te tangi tonu engari. E whea ko a tā he rā tāhua. Kei te kiingi, tēnā koe, te kiingi o te kotahitanga. Ko koe tēnā. I whakakotahi ai I inga iwi katoa. Puta no I te motu. No reira kei te pāpā. Haere atu rā. O tira ki tau tamāhine tō tātou kuini. Kei a koe. Ngā wai hono I te pō. Te anamata o te kiingitanga. Te inai nei anō hoki o te kiingitanga. Kei konei, tō iwi Māori. Kei konei, mātou e tautoko ana ki a koe o tira ki tō whānau. Te kāhui ariki. No reira, ki a koutou katoa, tēnā koutou. As we just see here, a bit of a heavy collision. And we never like to see this, although we have seen this in our previous games this morning as well as yesterday. The result of the desire and the willingness for our athletes to compete. A bit of a knock here. And we've got the physio on the field, which is always helpful. And we hope that Anika Todd is okay. Could be the way they're looking, holding her legs, it could be perhaps winded. May have had a bit of the breath or the heart, we might say, knocked out of her. She's on her feet. Good signs here for Anika Todd. And as we are fortunate to be able to bring you this broadcast live on Whakaata Māori, we would also like to extend a huge thank you to all of our sponsors who enable us to bring this live stream to you all free of charge. No matter where you are, such as technology these days, we're able to watch broadcasts such as these live on our phones, on our laptops, our iPads, our TVs, our computer screens. I'm sure there's other screens people have figured out how to watch, a projector perhaps. So whether you're huddled around a laptop watching with your friends or your whānau, whether you're watching on TV or perhaps you're on your phone somewhere, no mai, haere mai, ki tēnei papahotanga a Whakaata Māori. Thank you also to our sponsors, Bailey's Real Estate, Caltex, New Zealand Carbon Farming and Opolo Projects, whose sponsorship enables us to share this event live from Whakatū Nelson, to penultimate game of this year's National Secondary Schools Girls Competition to you all. Ma te huru huru te manu ka rere ai, kei te rere pai tēnei manu. And with good news, Anika Todd is back on her feet, ready to resume play. Nō reira e te iwi. We've waited all week. This is the 7th game for all of our players here. The final of our 2024 national competition. As we see Tessa Sims with her makapaita, her throw in from the side there. And now we see Baradene just trying to get the ball down, trying to settle into their rhythm. As much as they want to do that, Mount Albert want to try and prevent that from happening. And now we see Mount Albert with a bit of a change in possession here. And we see Jessica Freeman down the left-hand side. Very industrious. As we look back on the week that was and the road to the final, we have Mount Albert Grammar started their first day with 2 wins. The first against Glendowie 4-0. The second against Cashmere High School, where they were 5-0 winners. Tuesday morning saw a draw 1-1 with Sacred Heart and a close 4-3 win over Rangitoto College. Wednesday, a 3-1 win over New Plymouth Girls High School. Yesterday, as we saw live on Whakaata Māori, they were 1-0 winners over Epsom Girls Grammar in the semi-final. For Baradene, to date, they are the only team in this tournament that have won every game. Monday saw them win 3-0 over Queen's High School, which was then followed by an 8-1 victory over Palmerston North Girls High School. Tuesday, a 6-1 victory over Hillcrest High School and a 1-0 win over Napier Girls. Wednesday saw them win 5-0 against Waikato Diocesan School for Girls. And yesterday, in our semi-final, 1-0 over St Andrews College, who just an hour or so ago, actually less than that, 20 minutes ago, defeated Epsom Girls Grammar in the game for 3rd and 4th, which resulted in a penalty shootout, and St Andrews from Christchurch were able to come away victorious. And kudos to both those teams for the level of play that we saw and the competitive and respectful spirit in which that game was played. Here we are at te iwi, te kēmu whakamutunga. Ko wai katoa, ko wai kahua. So we see a bit of a scramble in the box there. Baradene able to clear. Kei te tumuaki o Mount Albert Grammar School, kei a koe Patrick Drum. Tēnā koe. O tira ki ngā tauira, ki ngā kaiako katoa o tō kura. Tēnā koutou. Te mana ko ia kua hono pai koutou ki tēnei papāhotanga. Tautoko ai, mā taki ai, i enei kai tākaro. Enei kai whakataitai o tō kura. Special welcome to the headmaster Patrick Drum of Mount Albert Grammar School, as well as all the teachers and students. Hopefully you're able to tune in and watch. I don't want to presume you are, because I know you do have class today, but hopefully there might be a break, a lunch break or something where you can watch some of this game. If you are listening, welcome. And what an opportunity it's been for your school to present themselves on the national stage, as they have done so well this week, and represent what Mount Albert Grammar School is all about. It's a school that was established in 1922 and over the years has consistently achieved excellence in the academic, sporting and cultural areas. So much so that the Educational Review Office has consistently made a point of commending the school for its outstanding academic achievements, with their NCEA higher than the national averages and considerably higher than averages for other similar schools. They're the top 6 in the country for scholarship, which is New Zealand's top secondary school academic award. They offer a diverse range of sporting opportunities with their teams and individuals regularly winning Auckland and also national championships. As we referred to earlier, they are the current Auckland champions for First 11 girls football. And to Baradene, ki a koe Sandy Paisley. Mehe me kei te whakarongo mai koe tēnā koe. O tira ki au kai mahi ki au kai ako a kai a whina. Nā tauira. Tēnā koutou katoa. And similarly, a warm welcome to Sandy Paisley, the principal of Baradene, all the teachers, all the people that work at the kura, the students. Hopefully, again, you are listening. You have an ability perhaps to watch this game or some of this game, even though you will be at school today. But to all of you, thank you for sharing with our country, for sharing with us all these special athletes, these special rangatahi that we have seen all week put on such a good display on the sports field, but also the way they have carried themselves is a real testament to the mahi that you guys are doing at your kura and helping these rangatahi, these kotiro, these tamahine, ngā kōhine, to find their way in this world. I tēnei ao huri huri, nō reira kia koutou katoa, tēnā koutou. And from Sandy, they are also very proud of the students that they educate, getting ready to prepare young women to make the way in their world, to make their way in this world. Excellent academic results and consistently rated as one of the top schools in Auckland. The Baradene community is very special, centered in Christ and the charism of the religious of the Sacred Heart. They feel that if your daughter goes to this school, they will leave school full of hope and purpose, ready to fulfill their dreams and make a positive contribution to society. As we see here, Tessa Sims attempting to throw the ball and just got that one a bit wrong. She'll get another opportunity here. E makapai taha. O tai hoa. E ai ki te kai wawau. We've got a substitution here, a bit of a change for Mount Albert. Looks like Roxy Person is the one that's going off. We're not sure if that's injury related. However, we do have a new player on the field which we just can't quite see the number yet. When we do, we will let you know. An early change there for Mount Albert Grammar. So the sub there is Isla Robson. So welcome to the game, Isla, as we see a great cross there from Mount Albert Grammar. So the word that we use for cross is whana hokai. So as we saw there, we saw a cross come from the wing that was crossed into the penalty area, and we use the words that we use as a whana hokai, as you can see on your screen here, tiwi. Nō reira, mehe me ko tērā tētahi kupu hou. If that's a new word that you haven't seen or used before, This is not the cross we refer to when you're angry, or this is not the cross we refer to perhaps related to religion. This cross here is what we refer to when somebody passes the ball from a wide area into the middle. We call that, in football terms, a cross, and i te reo Māori, we call it a whanahokai. Just a bit of a correction there, Tiwi. That word cross, it's actually pronounced whanahokai. So as some of you will be familiar, in te reo Māori, we use what we call a macron, or i te reo Māori a tohutoa. So when we see a macron, which looks like a line over a particular letter, we actually accentuate or elongate that letter. So as an example, we would say hokai, which means there is a macron over the O, as we can see on the screen now. So we see that line over the O there. It is hokai. That's how we pronounce it. So we hold on to that sound, as opposed to a whanahokai, which we had on the screen earlier. So the right word for cross is whanahokai. Want to make sure we get these details right, Eti. We don't want to put you wrong as we all learn and improve our te reo Māori. Often in such big games in a tournament, you know, semi-finals and finals, we can see nerves, and I'm just not getting a sense that that is an issue here today. We see both teams playing freely. We see both teams willing to move the ball, to pass the ball, and to try things, which is a testament to the coaching staff that they've created for their teams an environment where these players feel comfortable. I te timatanga o tēnei kēmu i ki te mātou, te hunga mātaki, i ngā kaitākoro e mihi ana, ki ngā kaitākoro e te mutunga o tēnei tau ka wehe. A great sign that we've seen from all of the schools in this last game is the guard of honour that all teams have set up for their senior players, who today will be playing their last game in their school colours with their friends for their schools. So a nice touch for our departing seniors to be able to run onto the field surrounded by their teammates with that guard of honour. For some of our athletes here, I'm sure, given the calibre of the players we see in front of us, there will be aspirations to continue to play poi whana football next year for the ones that are leaving school. And i tēnei wā, e nui ngā huarahi. As we see a great cross, he whanahokai being put into the box there from Baradene. And I was just saying, there's so many opportunities these days for our players if they do want to continue to play once they have finished school. These two teams obviously both based in Tamaki Makaurau, and there are lots of club teams in Tamaki Makaurau that would appreciate players of this calibre to join their club. Ko tērā tētahi o ngā huarahi. Ko tētahi atu, we now have, soon to have, 2 A-League clubs here in New Zealand with the addition of Auckland FC to the existing Wellington Phoenix, and we have seen Putanoi Te Motu academies that are set up for our players. So again, that's another potential avenue for players that do have aspirations to continue to play and to continue to strive to play at a higher level. Ko tētahi atu, haere ki tā wāhi, pērā I ahi Tareiria, Ingarangi, Amerika, Whiwhi karahipi ai. Another very popular option for a lot of our rangatahi once they have finished their secondary school education in New Zealand is to look to the USA, which for a long time have provided scholarships for players to go and join a university football team, a university softball team, basketball team, and as part of that experience, the university can contribute to your education costs, they can contribute to your books. In some cases they will cover the cost of all your meals while you are living in the dorms. Other times they will cover the cost of living in the dorms as well. So lots of options for our rangatahi these days, and America is a very popular one, particularly mō ngā kōtiro. In America they have a rule in their collegiate university sporting system which they call Title IX. And what Title IX alludes to is there must be an equal number of scholarships for all of their athletes that play sport for their university. The number of scholarships for females must be equivalent to the number of scholarships for males. What we see as a result, for those of you that are familiar with American football or gridiron, because as you recall they refer to our football as soccer, but what they refer to as American football or gridiron is that game where they wear helmets and pads and they crash into each other. So in America, a lot of universities have gridiron or American football teams, and these teams can have up to 100 players on their teams. So what that means for universities that do have an American football gridiron team, there's only a competition currently for males. So that means there's about 80 or up to even 100 scholarships that are used by that one team. So for our female athletes that are looking to go across to America, there is a large number of scholarships available due to the fact that this Title IX means that there must be an equal number of scholarships available to males and females. So e te iwi, mehe mea kei te hia, tau tamā hine, mehe mea kei te hia, koe pia, te tai atu ki Amerika, whiwhi karahipi ai. We do have now lots of avenues for our players that do want to continue. And I'm sure, looking at the skill level of what we've seen this week. A lot of these players would be more than comfortable going to a different country to continue to play the game they love. And they makapaitaha Baradene just jostling for possession there. Was Emma White. And both teams still just trying to find a gap, trying to find that space to try and create a goal scoring opportunity, as we see Lexi Headington there on the ball for Mount Albert, and now Poppy O'Brien, Baradene. Kare kore ke te mohio pai e nei hōriri ki a rātou anō. These players would have played each other a number of times over the last few seasons, so will be familiar with each other's playing style, and potentially will be familiar with strengths, and potentially as well some areas perhaps they're able to exploit. Nice clearance there from Holly Reynolds, and just looked like, I think it knocked over one of the supporters' drink bottles here, which prompted a bit of laughter from some of the fellow spectators. Great crowd here. Toko maha ngā tāngata e noho ana I konei mātaki ai. Good to see these kura so well supported. Koe nei ngā tāngata e noho ana I te tihi o tēnei maunga. Kei te taumata. As we see Baradene here, he whana Hawkeye, well cleared by Mount Albert. Just a bit of a breeze picking up here at Saxton Fields. Not strong enough to really influence the game, but certainly noticeable. tā whiri mate. Pupuhi ana. As we have now an opportunity for Mount Albert. What will we see here? Perhaps a bit far for a direct shot on goal. Maybe looking to deliver across. If Whana Hawkeye instead, it has been a shot on goal! Incredible scenes! Outstanding! Emily Lyon from distance. Certainly. Look at this replay here. So far out, she's not in the shot, but look, right into the top corner off the post. That is giving me vibes that goal would sit in any league in any country in the world as one of the best goals of the season. Outstanding for our captain there, Emily Lyon. And that puts Mount Albert Grammar in pole position, 1 to Baradene 0. As we were talking about, for those of you that were tuned in yesterday, we were talking about the high percentage of goals that are scored within the last 5 minutes before half time. And here we have another one, another example. We're not sure, I know there's been a lot of research. Nui ngā rangahau e pāna ki tēnei kaupapa. Engari, is it that due to it being close to half time, perhaps, mentally perhaps, we're not quite as focused as we could be? That is one school of thought. Is it that when it does get so close to half time, players think, okay, I'm going to have a bit of a break soon. Let's give it a really strong push for the next few minutes. Another school of thought. How o whakaroeti, what do you think? There's such a high proportion of goals that are scored 5 minutes before and 5 minutes after half time. So have a bit of a kōrero at home there, or wherever you're watching. Interested to hear discussion on this one, you guys. So have a think. Have a chat at home and see what you think. As all sports develop across the world, there's such a strong focus on what we call the top 2 inches, and just how big an impact the psychology has on performance. And when we've traditionally looked at it as an athlete, and we've trained muscles, we've trained running, we've trained kicking, we've trained passing. Now we're seeing across all formats of sport that the brain is such a strong tool, and the brain is being focused on more and more to help our athletes, to help our people to tune in, to think positively, and to create in their own minds a headspace where they can play to the best of their ability. As we see, tino tata ki te mutunga o tēnei wāhanga tuatahi. Nei, Isabel O'Connell, Baradene. I hoa tu te pōro ki tōna hoa. Ko Chloe Tua tēnā. Jessica Freeman with the throw into the goal scorer now. Emily Lyon, who is trying her very best to try and make something happen. Engari e ai ki te kaiwawao. Just a little bit too aggressive for the referee's liking there. So we have a free kick for Baradene. Bridget Baker has done a great job today, our referee, keeping the game flowing and blowing her whistle only when required. He tohu tēnā o te kaiwawao pai. Mena ka kaha whakarongo koe ki te kaiwawao kia hau ko tāku. Ka re tērā i te kaiwawao pai. A good sign of a referee, as a lot of people say, you don't notice them too much, which means they make good decisions, keep the game running. But always a big mihi to all of our referees for what they do for our sport. As we see now Charlotte O'Neill, a nice ball into Poppy O'Brien for Baradene. I tēnei taha maui. Te whana Hawkeye into the box. Ooh, what an opportunity within the last dying moments of the first half. As we see now Poppy O'Brien, lovely cross, lovely whana Hawkeye, just not handled. And we see Katie Brew, who pounced on the ball. And just as she did, there was a lot of bodies in her way and just unable to direct that onto target. Her friends have gone over just to check on her, make sure she's okay. Kia kaha, e kare. There's a lot of time still to go in this game. As we see now, they've called time for the first half. Ka haere rātou katoa ki te whakarongo ki o rātou kai whakahaere. Ka inu, ka whakatā, ka hoki mai. We should do the same whānau, take this time, have a quick break, and we will see you back here shortly for the second half, the last half on our live Whakaata Māori coverage of our 2024 National Secondary Schools Girls Competition from Nelson. Catch you soon.
Global warming is incredibly serious. We need to cut emissions, but we need to also absorb carbon out of the atmosphere. Growing trees is the only tool we have in the toolbox for taking carbon out of the atmosphere that we can do at scale. Pinus radiata takes carbon out of the atmosphere at about 5 to 10 times the rate of native planting. And so what New Zealand Carbon Farming are doing is planting the Pinus radiata to absorb the carbon, and then they're transitioning that forest into native forests so that we get the biodiversity benefit.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
This isn't about long-distance calling, technology, or living overseas.
Do I have one more bid? Thank you.
We're going to go once. We're going twice.
And we are sold to the Kiwi phone bidder from Manchester.
It's about Bailey's finding buyers that others can't.
Sport is about more than just the game. It's about going from teammates to best mates. It's the high fives and helping hands. It's learning when to back yourself or back your buddies. It's actually being excited to get out of bed early on a Saturday. Sport is about more than just the game. That's why Caltex is proud to help fuel school sports.
Funding is a real challenge. We know that a lot of schools face that ongoing, and the reality is if you go to a lower decile school in New Zealand, you are less likely to be able to afford to participate in sport.
Obviously, having come through it myself with kids and being one of those kids myself who played sport, I know how much it defined who I was. And now being able to go, I can't fix it all, but we can help and try and give to those people who are going through really tough times. It's a real privilege, but for us, we want to see others get involved in this. This is not a selfish thing for Apollo. This is about how can we get, whether it's construction or other businesses, to get involved in this.
There's a lot of things that kids miss out on, and so to have businesses step up and want to be involved and to help is a game changer for schools. It really is.
Māori Active, streaming live at youtube.com/Whakaata Māori. Subscribe now.
Morena, beautiful people.
Look at me. Look at her.
Whoa.
Hee haw, hee haw.
Bang.
Too much.
Sounds ominous. Keep our kaumatua cool.
Oh, you went all the way to the KKK, eh?
No.
Hurry up.
Okay.
Make Māori Plus your mate. Download the app today.
Nei, look.
He tau hou, he kanohi hou. He wairua hākua kua tonu. Pūkana ki whakaata Māori me Māori Plus.
E tino aroha nau ki ngā mahi toi katoa, ngā mahi auaha. He pōrangi mātai.
Toi tū te rangi, toi tū te whenua, toi tū te reo Māori, toi ata ki te ao.
Anei e tiwi, kua tai ki te wāhanga whakamutunga o tēnei whakataitai. Nō reira, kia mau tonu mai. Anei a hau, ko Wirimu Patrick, te wahaha whakaata Māori i tēnei o ngā whakataitai. Aku atu i a whakatū i tēnei rā. Te tauihu o te waka, te nākoe. We have a repeat of the Auckland final. We have last year's national champion Baradene currently trailing Mount Albert Grammar 1-0. And we have our Mount Albert Grammar captain Emily Lyon, number 9, the goal scorer, which was a great direct free kick, which has resulted in her team being ahead after the first half. And as a reminder, e tiwi ko tēnei te kēmu whakamutunga, the last game of this tournament, the final, the winner of this game will be crowned the 2024 New Zealand champion for secondary school girls football. We've seen the earlier game, or the game prior to this today, resulted, which was the game for 3rd and 4th playoff between St Andrews from Christchurch and Epsom Girls Grammar from Auckland, resulted in a penalty shootout. Due to the close nature of that game, ko tēnei ke mu urite So close this game as well. There's nothing in between the two teams. At the moment, a spectacular free kick is all that separates these two proud kura. These two entertaining, talented and committed teams. As we see now, there's a free kick, whana whiwhi, so an indirect free kick given for Baradene, and the word that we use there is whana whiwhi, which means a kick that's received, which is our kupu Māori for free kick. And we see here Baradene with their whana whiwhi on the left-hand side, looking to kill this ball into the box and hopefully result in their first goal. Here we see it come in there and well collected there by Anika Todd, who in fact just carried the ball over the line. So we have now a whana koko, a corner kick for Baradene, who have started this second half strong and are applying the pressure on Mount Albert as Baradene look to get back into this game and get onto the score sheet. As we see the corner come in now, and we see Talia Cooper free at the back post, and what a cross, and we have Baradene on the score sheet. Again, as we watch the replay, the cross comes in, no one picks up Talia Cooper at the back post, who just very cleverly floats the ball back in there to her friend, and a great goal from Baradene, who I believe that is Katie Brew, the goal scorer for Baradene, who has brought them back 1 Baradene to 1 Mount Albert. And as we have said, e te iwi i ngā miniti e rima e mua i te wā whakatā, i ngā miniti e rima hoki whai muri i te wā whakatā. E nui ngā kōra, and this is no different as we've been talking about just at the end of the first half. How many goals are scored in the last 5 minutes of the first half and the first 5 minutes of the second half across the world. And as we see here today, another example of that. Another whanakoko i nainei for Baradene. Corner kick as we see the crowd there, full packed stadium here in Saxton Fields in Whakatū in Nelson. The breeze is picking up slightly, but still great conditions for football as we see Baradene with a short corner now. And now they look to float it into the far post, well defended from Emily Lyon, who has been effective at both ends of the pitch for Mount Albert. Charlotte O'Neill looking for a through ball there to Emma White, who has been able to get on the end of that, but Anika Todd safely with the ball on her hands. Kea koutou ngā kai tākoro. I nainei, e roa ngā miniti, āhua, e tori te kaumarima e toi ana no reira. Kawea wanga wanga, kawea mai mai. Me u, koutou katoa, ki te mahi, I mua I te aroaro. Kia tau, kia maia, kia mana manui. As we see here, a bit of a knock for, I think that is Sophie Coles there, just on in our foreground. in a bit of trouble, bit of pain, and the signal has gone out to the bench that she is unable to continue, which is a real shame for her, as we see the captain Emily Lyon with her, just making sure that she's okay. Never a nice thing when a player has to leave the game due to injury, and we hope that this injury is not too serious, and we wish her the best for her recovery. As we see a packed grandstand here, it's everyone here to see what is the cream de la cream of this year's national tournament. The players that have sacrificed all week, all season on the training ground back at their kura and have put themselves in a position to win a national title. And a big round of applause now goes out to Sophia Coles, that is able to walk, which is a great sign. Might be a knee, perhaps an ankle injury there, and we're sure she will receive treatment and be well looked after by the medical staff of Mount Albert Grammar. Inainei ko Baradene, Emma White, lovely skills on the left-hand side there. Poppy O'Brien. Ahakoa katoa, ahakoa ka hinga. Ko te mea nui ka tākaro, ko te mea nui ka tākaro tahi I te taha o Ohoa. I tēnei wiki I ki te mātou katoa, te hunga mātaki I ngā pukenga, I ngā kaha o engei o ngā kai tākaro, ngā kai whakataitai. As we just see Baradene heading over for another corner, another whanakoko. And Charlotte O'Neill is the one tasked to take this corner. The one just prior we saw a short corner being deployed from Baradene. Will they go with the same strategy this time round, or will they opt to put the ball into the box and give some of their players a chance to connect with their head or another body part to try and get the elusive goal? If it is a header they are going for, we do have a Māori translation for that. It's called a tuki a mahunga. So our mahunga, for those that are aware, that's a word for our head, and te tuki a mahunga means to connect with the head. So will they be looking for a tuki a mahunga? Not at that stage. However, that may be something we see shortly, as we see on the screen here. Te tuki a mahunga is the header, is what we see when the ball is played in the air, and we will see our athletes out here use their head to propel the ball, often forward, sometimes backwards, and we refer to that as a tuki a mahunga, the tuki being the meeting or the connection of the head, which is the mahunga. Reire te iwi, we do have Te Wiki o Te Reo Māori coming up in 8 days' time, no reira, kia kaha. Use our kupu, use our words that we can, the words that we are learning, and use them in our everyday lives. I'm sure for all of our kaitākaro, they will reflect over time, perhaps at the end of the year, perhaps in years to come. They will look back fondly on these moments when they were playing with their friends at a national tournament, representing their schools, their whānau, their hapu, their iwi, their people. And certainly it's a privilege. I know a lot of these players, these athletes will be thinking the same thing, to represent their school on a national stage. And we thank you to everybody in Nelson, to everybody around Aotearoa that have come together to put on this event for this week. It's a huge feat to bring so many athletes into one place with all the logistics, accommodation, travel, food, training venues, parking, places for spectators to watch, camera crews, production teams, ground staff, teachers, parents, family, helpers, physios, supporters, everyone that's been involved, from New Zealand sports associations, from schools, from professional organisations and businesses. We thank you all, and we thank you for helping our rangatahi participate. We thank you for helping them to compete and giving them experiences like this, which they will take into their adult life and hold on to and cherish in the years to come. Also, on behalf of Whakaata Māori, thank you so much to all the sponsors who help bring these broadcasts to you all. Aotearoa, across the motu, Bailey's Real Estate, Caltex, Carbon Farming, and Apollo Projects. Thank you so much for your support and what you give and what you provide for our platform. O te rā ki te taura whiri, te tūrā, o te reo Māori, te hāpai o, tēnā rā koutou. O koutou tēnā, ia rā ia wiki ia marama ia tau, i roto i ngā tau. Ko koutou tēnā, e tautoko wana i tō tātou reo. As we just see there, encouraging signs from Mount Albert Grammar. A nice break down the left-hand side, but deemed offside. Here, two hapa. Offside there. The assistant referee on that side put their flag up, as we see when a player in an attacking position is in front of the defensive line. We call that a two hapa, an offside, and rightly so, the flag from our assistant referee was raised. And now we have Baradene in possession. Āhua rua tekau mā rima miniti e toi ana. after a quick fire start, things have just calmed down a little bit with both teams now just again looking to assert ascendancy in these last 25 minutes of this penultimate game of the 2024 National Secondary Schools competition. Back when I was at secondary school, we actually did have a national tournament in Nelson. And I had a bit of an embarrassing, for me anyway, experience at the time where I came on as a substitute in one of the games, one of the pool games for our school, and I came on with about maybe half an hour to go, and then I got taken off with about 10 minutes to go. So that was a unique experience for me, being substituted onto the field. And I thought I'd be finishing the game, but then I was substituted back off the field. But still, great experience. And as I said earlier, he whea ko tino pai, kare tu atu ki te noho tahi te taho, o ngā hoa tata, ngā pea, o te kura. Amazing to spend time with friends, teammates, in an environment like this where you literally get to play football all week. There's not much else you need to worry about, particularly in an environment like this where the schools are well supported and the facilities are top notch. Some nice play here from Mount Albert down the right-hand side. Lizzie Reynolds weaving in and out, trying to propel her team forward. As we see now Lizzie being replaced, getting some fresh legs. Kare kore ke te ngenge nei kai tākaro katoa. And the coaches will be keen to rotate some of their players that have played a lot of minutes in this tournament to give players that have a bit fresher legs and give them an opportunity to play the last 20 minutes. Although, if it's anything like my experience years ago, hopefully they get to finish the game. Ooh, kaha tēnā. Here we have Jessica Freeman on the left-hand side. Just slipped, but she's got back up quickly. Ia ai ki te kawa haere tonu, haere tonu. Well defended there by Holly Reynolds for Mount Albert, and smooth play from Anika Todd finds Rosie Robson. And just dispossessed there by Poppy O'Brien. As we've seen all week, so impressed by the willingness for teams to compete, to keep fighting until the end. Kei mate wheke, mate ururoa. Ki ngā kai tākaro, whaia te iti kahurangi. ki te tūoho koe, me he maunga teitei. He mana ko te kaure kore ai. O tae te wā. I nāne whakatū i tōringa. Ka puta pēr. Tuihu i tēnei o ngā whakataitai. Ola Robson, down the left-hand side, it's Taha Maui. Well cleared from Baradene here. E tuki a mahunga tēnā, nā Holly Reynolds, inano ko Roxy Person. Moving the ball very well here. Jessica Freeman looks to find her captain, Emily Lyon. And here we go, Baradene. Madeline Dwyer through the heart of the Mount Albert defence, but well defended there. As we see one tournament come to an end, ka huringa whakaro ki ngā Ames Games, ka tū ki Tauranga Moana, hei te wiki e tū mai nei, where we will see lots of our rangatahi ascend on Tauranga Moana, and another week of competition will commence. Possibly some of our kai tākaro from this competition may also be called upon by their respective kura to go and represent their kura again at the Ames Games in Tauranga. So many games, we've got basketball, BMX cross country, golf, futsal, gymnastics, rugby 7, surfing, table tennis, tennis. He nuinga momoha kina kina. Poi tarawhiti, poi tūkohu hahau pōro. Eke ngaru, tienehi, kauhoi, o maroa. So if you're in and about Tauranga Moana, or close to Tauranga Moana, go and check out the Ames Games, and again, tautoko our rangatahi as they continue to experience new venues, new places and new opportunities as they continue to meet friends, as they continue to represent themselves and their kura on the sporting stage. So that kicks off tomorrow in Tauranga, and that will go for the duration of the week. Engari, kei konei tonu tātou atu i whakatū, atu i Saxton Fields. Koinei te kemu whakamutunga o tēnei tau, tēnei o ngā whakataitai. As we just see both teams here so committed to playing football, to looking after the ball, to treasuring the ball. And for those who tuned in yesterday we had some kōrero around the positive changes that we see across the motu with New Zealand football and the style of play that the majority of our teams are now employing, which was certainly different to times gone by, where perhaps we were guilty of being a little bit too direct. Engari enei kai tākaro katoa kataia, te chaki i te pōro kataia, te whana, i te taha maui, i te taha matau. Te koi o te hine ngaro. Te pai hoki ki te whakarongo ki ngā kai whakahaere. Anei ngā hua. As we just see it, iwi. Another change being made. Engari, kei ngā kai tākaro, we've got about 13 minutes to go. Nō reira, arotahi ana te titiro iho a te kārearea tauana. As we see both teams just jostling, still working so hard. Maka pai taha really is going in roundabouts this game, back and forward. As we see there, Roxy Person with a tricky one to deal with there for Baradene. And we have it! Who we have there, Holly Reno, has come from seemingly nowhere. Was that Isla Robson perhaps? From seemingly nowhere. As we watch the replay here, we see Emily Lyon with a great play. And what a finish, opportunistic. Just didn't catch the number if it's 5 or 6, but however, very, very joyous, very happy. And Mount Albert have put themselves back in front, back in the lead after some industrious play by their captain, Emily Lyon. Never give up. And we saw the goal being scored by, it is Isla Robson, has put Mount Albert back in front, 2-1. Kua tino paruni te āhua o enei miniti whakamutunga nā tērā kōra i nai nei kare kore kei te whakaaro ngā kai whakahaere e rua ka aha. We think now there could be a change of strategy. Perhaps Mount Albert might now start thinking about protecting their 2-1 lead, and for Baradene, the converse, they now must really go for it to them. If it stays as it is, they will not be back-to-back defending champions. So perhaps now the coaches have some changes to make. Let's see. There may be an option for Baradene to relocate one of their defensive players and move them further forward. Likewise, it may be something where Mount Albert might look to bring one of their attacking players back into the midfield, or perhaps even back into the defensive unit. Let's see if there's an obvious change here from either side. Oh, very well done there by Poppy O'Brien. Have to admire the hustle, engari. I haere te poro, ki waho e te whira. As we see the goal scorer there, Isla Robson, calm under pressure. And it's just given Mount Albert a little bit of a sense of calm. They are stroking the ball around, playing, moving it from side to side. Engari anei a Baradene. E haere tonu ana. Amelia Hitchcock. E nāne he makapai taha. Chloe Chua. He makapai taha roa pea. Ki te kore. Ai. E te nuinga o enei whakataitai ko ngā miniti whakamutunga. Ngā miniti ua ua. Engari, e ai ki a Mount Albert ko takoto te mānuka. Baradene, it's their game to chase now, as we see Mount Albert launching another one of their attacks down the right-hand side. A nice solo run and strike on goal. Engari, Isabel O'Connell was there and able to thwart the danger. We see Jessica Freeman now for Mags, Mount Albert Grammar. Very clever there. She got herself an extra about 3 meters by edging forward of her on her throw-in. Number 5 for Mags, Holly Reynolds, very calm under pressure, great distribution, really marshalling the troops at the back there. As we see Roxy Pearson double teamed. And again, as we've seen, I tēnei wiki tonu. Nā kai tākaro katoa, tēnō kaha i te rutu, ki te rutu. So strong on the tackle, so willing to compete. So last year's national tournament saw, as we alluded to earlier, Baradene take out the title with Mount Albert Grammar in third place. So some redemption perhaps this year. There's still time on the clock. And the year before that, 2022, we saw Epsom Girls Grammar victorious with Mount Albert Grammar second and Baradene third. Obviously in 2021 and 2020, due to COVID, there were no tournament in either of those years. But back to 2019, Baradene again, national champions, followed by Hillcrest High School in Hamilton and Epsom Girls Grammar coming third. 2018, Baradene again, followed by Hamilton and then Epsom Girls Grammar. 2017 saw St Kentigern and then Mount Albert second. So e te iwi, ngahu mai ana ngā hua o enei kura i ngā tau. Ko tata mai nei, ko atoa enei kura, ko Baradene, ko Mount Albert Grammar, ko Epsom Girls Grammar. Ngā tīma e toru, ngō tāmaki makauru. Kei a rātou, ngā jakarete me ki. As we see our captain from Mount Albert Grammar still trying, still leading her team, Emily Lyon, into the last few minutes of our final. And what a final it's been. From that great strike early on, and then we saw Baradene with an equally as good finish, and then what seemed like out of nowhere, another goal to put Mount Albert into the front. No matter how the score ends up, no matter what the result is, in reality, when we look at these things, all the players that have been a part of this tournament, the coaches, the referees, the supporters, everyone that's been on the ground, involved in some way, shape or form, everyone deserves credit for the role that they have played to bring all our rangatahi together and to enable this tournament to take place. Nō reira, kia koutou katoa, ngā ringa, ko mahia te mahi i ngā wiki tata nei, i e noia nei tonu, e rauringa e oti ai. Tino mihi kia koutou katoa. We hope that these tournaments continue for years to come, as it's such a great environment for our players. Kia koutou katoa, ngā kai mātaki. E mihi ana, e mihi ana, e mihi ana. Te mana kuia, kare koutou i tino hoha i tēnei waha, i tēnei rā. Thank you for everybody who has tuned in over the last few days to Whakaata Māori, to watch the pinnacle of our secondary schools girls football tournament in Aotearoa. And thank you again to Whakaata Māori and all our sponsors, Bailey's, to Caltex, New Zealand Carbon Farming, Apollo, and Te Tautawhiri for making this happen, for enabling this to be broadcast live through Aotearoa, so that our friends, our whānau, our schools, fellow pupils, fellow students are able to watch and see our athletes play live. Such an exciting week, such a promising tournament which bodes so well for the health and the future of this game in Aotearoa. We're now into te wā o te kaiwa wā referees time. The game clock is up. Now the time is at the sole discretion of our kaiwa wā. So there's obviously been some injuries, some substitutions. Nō reira, ko etahi Miniti Pe Toyana. And Bridget Baker is in full control of the timing now. As we see Mount Albert Grammar still giving everything that they have. The fitness levels of all of our athletes is just so impressive. The energy levels are the same today at Game 7 as they were 5 days ago on Monday in Game 1. Testament to the work that all these athletes have put in over this season, pre-season, and continue to do so to keep themselves fit, to keep themselves healthy. Ka rea kore I oma I ngā rori, I haere ki ngā whare hā kina kina, kori tina nai, kauhoi pea, I runga I ngā pahikara pea, he ātu rānei, engari anei ngā hua. Kei te oma tonu, te āhua nei, kei te tino, ora tonu rātou katoa. And we have had it here. Congratulations to Mount Albert Grammar, Jessica Wilson, Kate Inwood and the team who have been victorious just as they were in Tamaki Makaurau in the Auckland competition a few weeks ago. They have come to the national stage and they are the 2024 New Zealand Secondary Schools Girls Champions. Mount Albert Grammar, congratulations. E mihi ana kia koutou katoa, well deserved, an exciting final, and condolences as well to Baradene, ngā hōriri I tēnei rā, who gave it their all, who put on a great spectacle and have played so well all week. Otira ki ngā kai tākaro katoa, all of our players, all of our athletes that were involved this week, please be proud of yourselves, be proud of the effort that you put in, and also be proud of what you have done as a representative of your kura, of your whānau, and of your iwi and your community. To all of you at home, e mihi ana kia koutou katoa, I nai nei, te manako ia ka whai wā ki te whakatā. Enjoy your weekends, whatever they have in store. Thank you for tuning in to this live broadcast from Whakatū Nelson of Whakata Māori and our National Secondary School Girls Competition 2024, as we see pictures here of Mount Albert Grammar celebrating as they should. Thank you so much, Eti. We will see you next time for the next broadcast of the next event. We will be here, Whakata Māori, bringing that to you live. Nō reira, enjoy
Yeah, we're going to get into the airport now.
the memories that have been created this week, and we're going to have a few snippets now to remind us of the treat that we have just witnessed. Looking back on the game here, as we see Baradene with an early chance. Poppy O'Brien very early, about 4 or 5 minutes into the game, and just went over the post there, but it was certainly a sign of things to come. Another chance there from Poppy O'Brien, this time just going to the left, and this was a corner for Mount Albert Grammar, we see, which was launched, and very, very close. Holly Reynolds there, just unable to get on the end of that, and this was a goal which would be worthy on any platform, any stage. The captain, Emily Lyon, putting Mount Albert Grammar 1-0 up, and there we saw again a close chance. Great work from Poppy O'Brien, and very close Katie Brew there for Baradene. Another corner for Baradene. Clever play here. The ball was passed back into the box and by Rosie Robson, and a great finish which resulted in 1-1. And now the last goal of the game, Isla Robson followed up some nice build-up play, and that, as we saw, the goals and a last chance there for Mount Albert Grammar has resulted in Mount Albert Grammar taking out the National Championship for 2024. But again, as they prepare for the trophy to be handed out, again, to both teams in this game, to the teams that have played today and the teams that have played earlier this week, thank you so much for all you have brought to this tournament. Thank you so much for representing yourselves and your schools in the way that you have. It's been incredible to witness. We are fortunate to have been here to watch the high level of football that has been on display from all of our athletes. Nō reira, kia koutou katoa, kia haumaru te hoki atu ki o koutou kāinga, kia haumaru hoki te noho, te toinga o te tau, ahakoa, ka hare koe kihia. Thank you so much. Safe travels back to your homes, and enjoy the rest of the year and whatever the future brings to all of our players. Anei mātou, whakata Māori, e mi atu ana kia koutou katoa. Thank you so much for tuning in. Enjoy your weekends, and we will see you next time. Kia ora tātou.
Our top rangatahi.
Wow.
Go head to head.
What a that flick pass.
Watch every player.
What a try.
Every game live on Māori Active. Winter Tournament 2024 ki Māori Active.
The forest should never have been taken off this steep hill country that's eroding, and it makes absolute sense to afforest those hills. What we're doing here is using the exotics to help that process get established. We're looking at a managed transition process where those pines are progressively thinned as the native understory establishes. We're trying to do several things here. Soak up carbon, establish native forest, and we're trying to improve biodiversity. You're achieving an awful lot with one program of activity.
Sport is about more than just the game. It's about going from teammates to best mates. It's the high fives and helping hands. It's learning when to back yourself or back your buddies. It's actually being excited to get out of bed early on a Saturday. Sport is about more than just the game. That's why Caltex is proud to help fuel school sports.
At Apollo Projects, we create better outcomes because we never make any assumptions. Like at this dairy dryer. The cladding on the building that houses the dairy dryer needed to be replaced. So they called us up. First, we inspected the cladding. The cost implications of shutting the dryer down were huge, particularly from the loss of production, which is much higher than the actual reclad costs. So we came together as a team. We said, why don't we replace the cladding while the dryer is still operational? No one had ever done that before, which meant working with the client on hygiene requirements. We wrapped the dryer in 2 layers to create a hygiene envelope. While the old panels were removed, and the new ones installed, all while the dryer continued to work. By thinking outside the square and working as a team, the project was completed with no disruption to production, and it was a world first. Apollo Projects. No assumptions, better outcomes.
This weekend, it's a banger.
They've got the lowdown
We've got raw, real and intimate knowledge.
on everything haka.
So you're agreeing with what I'm
No,
saying?
that's why you're not judging.
Haka Yarns podcast. Stream it now on Māori Plus.
Wow.
Morena, beautiful people.
Look at me. Look at her.
Whoa.
Hee haw, hee haw.
Bang.
Too much.
Sounds ominous.
Keep our kaumatua cool.
Oh, you went all the way to the KKK, eh?
No.
Hurry up.
Okay.
Make Māori Plus your mate. Download the app today.
Nei, look, bolu, ha,
He tauhou, he kanohi hou. He wairua hākua kua tonu.
Pukana!
Pukana ki whakaata Māori me Māori Plus.
No mai. Ki tō mai wa YouTube.
Mātaki mai I te YouTube ki Māori Plus.
Mātaki noho kua nā ka wow.
Awhi mai. Ako mai. Kani mai.
Ki tino pai. Whakatiki te toru ruatai.
Whi tiki ki te koa. Te YouTube ki Māori Plus.
Te hihi oki.
Mana kore ana tō re wha. Ei, pauri atu.
I've got no skeleton, got nothing to hide.
It's a great stirrer.
It's trepidation, anticipation.
She's a game changer. Come celebrate the stories of our Māori heroes. Whakanuia.
Lots of celebrations, so many laughs, going to be amazing.
I'm a bit of a fan.
Tough.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing the stories from the St. Joe's days.
Oh, she is the sweetest person and also one of the most scary people I've ever met. Yeah.
Uncle? He's the man.
The biggest fan base is 50-plus-year-old Pākehā women.
That's not true.
Bring it on. Whakanuia. Te whakapāhoa ki ana ki whakaata Māori me Māori Plus.